So hello guys, welcome back to Phani Soft Tech. So now we will going to be learn about how to install bootstrap and PrimeNG, right? Okay. Before that, we are doing So we will learn about the data binding concept in Angular, which is the most important concept in your project. So after completion of the data binding, then we will going to install PrimeNG and Bootstrap. Okay. Yep. So I'm giving some high level description for that data binding. Okay. What is data binding here? Data binding in the sense we have two layers in Angular. Okay. One is the UI or HTML template, and one more is our model or TypeScript component. Okay, each HTML having one corresponding model, right? HTML, right? Sorry, TypeScript, right? So for here, header dot component dot html. This is the HTML file, and this is the header dot component dot ts file, model file. Okay, so how can we bind the data between these two layers? Okay, let me move it to this side. Okay, so these are two layers. Okay, fine. So I have one variable inside the header component, like title : string. Title is the variable name, which type is string, equals to the value of the string is Phani Soft Tech. Okay, the value of the string is Phani Soft Tech. Okay, before that, how many types of data bindings are available in the Angular? Okay, there are two types of data bindings are available. Data bindings. What are all the two types of data bindings? So one is one way or single way data binding. One way data binding. Okay, and second one is two-way data binding. Okay, so inside that one-way data binding, we have again three types. One is the interpolation, Angular interpolation, or string interpolation. Okay, and second one is property binding, and third one is event binding. And two-way data binding is the two-way data binding only. Okay, so what is one-way data binding? Let's see. So I am using one variable here in the component section. One variable title is there, which type is string, and the value of the string is Phani Soft Tech. I need to display this value in HTML file. How can we display? By using interpolation. So how can I display h1 tag? Inside the h1 tag, h1. I want to display Phani Soft Tech in h1. Okay, so here I am using string interpolation or angular. So this is the syntax. Okay, two double braces. Between the braces we are using our variable title. Okay, and runtime it is going to be displaying Phani Soft Tech. Okay, how it is working? Okay, we will see. So here they are using data binding, right? I mean interpolation they are using. Okay, so where is our header component.ts, right? And header component.html. So inside that I want to create one variable. How to create a variable? For example, yeah, I am using like title is fine. Title colon type is string. Okay, comma. Okay, and I need to declare the value of the title. I want to use ng on it. So every class having two, constructor and ng on in it. So the lifecycle ng on it is called as a lifecycle hook. So whenever, I mean execution time, first constructor will call, then after execution of constructor, immediately ng on init method. It's like a init method. Okay, here I am giving value to the title. So how can I give the value? This current class object dot title. This dot title equals to, I am giving value Phani Soft Tech. Okay, Phani Soft Tech. Now title having the data. Now I want to bind this variable into HTML file. So instead of this welcome Phani Soft Tech, welcome to Phani Soft Tech, welcome to Angular. So for example, here I am using interpolation. What is the name of the variable there? title. Simply. Okay, Control S. And is it compiling? Okay, it's going to be compiled. Once compiling this finished, then we will check what will be happening. Okay, compiled successfully. Then check in browser. So it's automatically reloading. Welcome to Angular. So interpolation is not okay. Okay, let's see why it is not going to be happen. Header component.html, header component.ts. Okay, title. Okay, instead of this, you can give here itself then equals to title. For example, yeah, Phani Soft Tech. You can do Phani Soft Tech. Phani Soft Tech. Okay, using this title, Control C, HTML. This is the interpolation, right? TAC. Here spelling is wrong, guys. TATLE. Sorry, spelling is wrong. That's what it's not coming. Now compiled successfully. Okay, compilation success. Then see the output. Welcome to Angular, Phani Soft Tech. This is called one-way data binding using interpolation. Okay, interpolation is completed. Then second one is what is the second one? What is the second one? Property binding. Okay, the value. So property binding we will learn later, but high level I am giving to something. So I want to, for example, I have one more variable like disable. It's a variable is disable colon, say boolean type, and the value is false. FALSE, false. Okay, so I have one button here. Input type equals to button. Okay, this is the button. I want to disable this button. How can I disable? By using one property. So it has one property. Like what is that? disable. Disable is the property. We need to bind this disable. Like, how can we disable? By using interpolation. Disable equals to interpolation of is disable. Okay, but this is not recommended. So we are using, instead of this, we are using property binding. How can I use property? So they are providing one property, like we are using this syntax. See the guys, syntax. It's a box shape, box of disable, which is providing by Angular, is equals to, okay, equals to, in single quotes, our variable name is disable, like this. This is called property binding. This is called property binding. See the syntax. Disable, and for example, if you use any drop down, there is called options also. One of the binding is there. Okay, once we install the PrimeNG component, then I will show you the property binding attributes. Okay, no problem. Properties, I will show all the properties. Okay, like that. So this is called property binding. Okay, we'll check in practically. So I am creating one input button now. Input type equals to button, value equals to something, click, save it and see the browser. Okay, button is there. Now I want to disable that button. I want to remove the, disable the button. So the variable, I want to initialize one variable here. Title is disable. Is disable equals to, the type is boolean. Boolean, and the value is false. Okay, false. Then copy this variable name, Control C, go to our HTML, we have disable. Disable equals to, in single quotes, our variable name. Control S. Now see the UI. Oh, so it triggers an error. If you click F12, browser developer tools, then you can understand the error. Console. See, template parse error. Disable, since it is not known property of input element, so it is not recognized. Okay, it is not going to be recognized. So how can we do that? I guess it is a disabled, I guess. Okay, let me check by using, instead of disable, we are using disabled. Okay, let me check. So saving. Okay, normally if it is a false, it is visible. Okay, if we giving true here, so this is assigned in this property. This disable property is disable is a variable name. Okay, this true is assigned to binded to this property, disabled property. That's what it is going to be disabled now. See here, this is disabled. This is called property binding. Okay, I will change here. So this is a disabled. Okay, disabled equals to false or true. It's up to you. If you want to make it as a false, it is not going to be disabled. If you make it as a true, then it is going to be disabled. Okay, so okay, now then third one is event binding. So here, what is the direction? One way binding. This is entire thing is a one way binding from component to HTML file. One way. Okay, whatever we are changing in component.ts file, it is reflected into our component.html file. Okay, fine. So what is the third type? event binding. Event binding, some text box, we have UI components, right? For each and every component having some events. Okay, for example, input type equals to button. Okay, so this is the button. We need to add a click event for this. Okay, how to using click event? The syntax is rounded braces. Okay, click, this is a predefined event, equals to, okay, method on click event. This is the method. This is one simple method. Okay, take it as 14. Okay, so this is the event binding. So what is that on click event here, where it is written exactly normally here inside the component.ts? How can I write a method name? What is the method name? On click event, so which is returns void. This is the method syntax. Make sure guys, TypeScript. Okay, so for here you can use console.log something like this. Okay, you will see practically. So I am giving one more input type button. So here value equals to click me. Okay, this is the button. And I want to use click binding for this click event. So rounded braces, event name is click, equals to what is the method name? For example, click me is the method. Okay, so which takes argument as event. If you want, you can pass it as an argument $event. This is the syntax for that event passing. Okay, save it and see the output. Okay, click me. So this is the button. If we click that button, so we are click event is triggered. Here see the error, type error, click me is not a function. Okay, so it is not finding that function. So what we have to do, we need to write that function. Where I need to do, after ng on init, I need to create one function. What is that function? You just copy paste that function name, Control C and Control V, colon, which is which is not written anything. That's what void click me is the function. It has some event void. Okay, here what I have to do, for example, console.log I am clicked. Simply. Okay, now see the output. Now it's loading, then no error is there, and I am going to be clicking here. I am clicked, so event is happen. This is called event binding, only one way binding. This is also one way binding, but the flow is, what is the flow of event binding here? The flow is from left to right, from HTML to component. Okay, for event binding. So now we are going to be second one, two-way binding. Okay, how it's look like, let's see. Two-way binding. What is a two-way binding? Two-way binding in the sense both sides going to be binded from left to right, and at the same time right to left. same thing. Okay, how? Same. I am going to take one input text box. Input type equals to, okay, text, okay, text box, and I want to bind this. Okay, before that we want to declare one variable here. Okay, for example, t1 is a variable which is string type equals to hi, for example. Okay, this is the one variable. Okay, this is one variable. Then same, I am using one input tag here. Input type equals to text. Okay, this is the input box. Here I am using one. So the value of this t1 variable is going to be assigned as a value of this text box. How can I assign? That's what two-way binding is comes into picture. So this is the syntax. Boxes, inside the boxes, okay, rounded braces, inside that the variable name, no, ng module, okay, ng module is equals to our variable name t1. Okay, this is the syntax for two-way binding. Then automatically it is going to be appended here. So hi is displaying in the text box. If in the text box, if you remove that hi, okay, and you can, for example, so this is the text box, right? This is the text box. If you want to change it, change hi into like welcome, some other text, then immediately the value is going to be changed here also. So t1 value also is going to be changed welcome, like that. So two-way binding. If you're changing in ts file, immediately it is appended in ui side. If you change in ui side, then it is immediately binded in ts side, I mean model side. Okay, let me check. So let me check practically. Okay, so before that I need one variable. So for example, val is my variable. Value are okay, val colon, which is a string type. The value is hello. Okay, hello. So I need to bind it this value inside one, for example, text box. I need one text box. Input type equals to text. Okay, this is the text box. See the output now. Okay, this is the text box. The hello string is going want to bind it inside this text box as a value. How can I do that? So we know the syntax of two-way binding: boxes and braces, rounded braces. Inside that one module is there, ng model, guys. It's not a module actually. Here what? Okay, module. It's not a module. It's a ng model. ng model. This is the ng model syntax. ng model. Okay, so ng model equals to our variable name is val, right? Val. Okay, simply save it and check the browser now. So we got an error, I think. Yeah, so error is coming. So see the error, Template parse error can't bind to ng model since it's not a known property of input. Okay, it's not a known property. So ng model is pre-built model which is coming from forms module. Okay, so we need to import that forms module. So on bootstrapping time I am explaining app.modules app modules.ts, right? So we need to import that ng module corresponding related modules inside that app module.ts. Okay, app module.ts. So where I need to import? Inside that import section, every modules under import section only. Okay, comma, what module we want? Forms module. Actually two types of forms we are using in Angular, so we will discuss later. Okay, what is the forms module, what is the reactive model, like that. As of now, just go through that one. Okay, so forms module. Okay, it is not this is the error now, so we need to import that one. Two steps. Okay, first we need to import, then we need to mention in the import session. Okay, I want to import here now. Import. So forms module which is coming from the package is angular slash forms. This is the package name. Okay, save it, then see the error. I'm not going to be I need to save this file. Save it. Okay, now going here. So Angular is running in the development mode call. Okay, there is no error, but the value is not binded. Okay, let us check what will happen. String hello. Okay, val, then here val, I think single quotes, it's not there. Save it. Okay, hello is displaying inside the text box. Okay, so okay, do that one more thing here. Okay, whatever the value is there inside this component.ts file in in variable val, the value is going to be displaying here as a interpolation. See, h1. Okay, for example here I am giving interpolation, the variable name is val. Okay, see now, Control S. Okay, hello is the value which is in val variable. Okay, I need to change the value here. Okay, hello, Phani Phani Soft Tech, see, then automatically the value which is in TypeScript also it is going to be changed. Okay, this is called two-way binding. I hope you guys understanding this binding mechanism. So these are all the binding types, like two types of binding: one-way binding and two-way binding. One-way binding having three types: Angular interpolation or string interpolation, and property binding and event binding. And second one is a two-way binding. Okay, I hope you guys understand. We'll be back on next session. Okay, bye bye, take care, thank you for watching.